Well, it's a good question. I think I would just say open for business. I don't think there's a player on this roster that's safe. I think I
Barely walk out of spring
messed up
training
here,
with
so
the
I'll
five
get
guys
back
in
on
the
you
rotation
guys.
that you expect them to be on the day pitchers and catchers report.
Oops.
Yeah, I mean, it was a remarkable thing that they were so healthy. Some of that is the training staff, some of it is the coaching staff, but a lot of it is also just luck, right? I mean,
Yeah.
most teams do not get through a season without some major starting rotation injury, and the Cardinals got really lucky there.
We only used,
I think
41
41
players
players
on the roster
on the
this year,
roster
Yeah.
this year,
which is
unheard
unheard
of
of
these
these
days.
days.
And
So
so
you're right,
you're
man. I
right,
don't think
man.
we'll
I
ever
don't
see
think we'll
that
ever see
again.
that
So
again. So we have to make sure
we
that
have
we have ample arms in spring training.
because as you well
Because as you
know,
well know,
we will sit
we
there and
will
watch
sit there and
guys for
watch
three
guys for
weeks and
3
say,
weeks
"Oh
and say,
man,
"Oh
Memphis is
man,
going to be
Memphis is
loaded
going to be
this year.
loaded this year. We can't carry all these guys."
And then the next thing you know, come July, we're saying, "Man, we got to find some pitching," and it's not in Memphis.
Where would this team have been without Phil Maton? And that's a guy who comes in late. I know this conversation's on starting pitching right now, but just pitching in general, they're going to have a Maton signing. And is there a possibility that they trade JoJo Romero this offseason when you think about the value that he brings? If they do, well, then you got to find some help on the left side. There's so many moving parts. And if they trade Sonny Gray, then all of a sudden you're looking to figure out some things in the rotation in bringing some guys in. So that's the interesting thing. There's lots of interesting things. What's one of the interesting things about this offseason is they're going to trade guys. When they trade guys, they're going to be looking for pieces that they can add to the future. Maybe those guys are going to be AA, AAA guys, almost here guys, or maybe they're going to be lower than that. It's going to take a while, but it's going to have an impact on the major league roster, and they're going to have to backfill somehow, some way, so they can be able to field a team and be able to field a team that can be somewhat competitive.
Yeah, you just can't trade guys just for the sake of trading guys. You can't do that. So you have to make sure that there's a method to this process where it's going to make you better. Now, I think the challenge is the players you're getting in return, can they help you now? Or are they high prospects in somebody else's organization where now they say maybe July he's ready to go? So and then the question is that guy in July better than the one you traded?
Yeah, and that brings up an interesting point here too. I cannot remember who wrote about this over the last week or so, but in the sort of transition period the Cardinals are in right now, even though they have some good young talent at the minor league level, and you mentioned Liam Doyle, who might make his way here quickly, they don't necessarily want to rush players up even now and get them big league experience even now. How do you, just generally speaking, how do you feel about the way they should handle that talent? And because, I am a lot of times a proponent of get the guy up here. I know that, you might lose control down the road of that extra year, but get him up here, get him big league experience, because the longer they're in the league, the closer they're going to become the player you hope they're going to become, right? Start the clock sooner. Generally speaking, that's how I feel. Not always. How do you think they should handle that when it comes to the young talent?
Chris, I think that's a great question, because I think we've seen in the past, we rush guys here, Jordan Hicks, Dylan Carlson.
You think Jordan Walker,
Zach
maybe?
Thompson.
Do you think we rushed him?
Yeah, I think Jordan Walker. Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. Yeah, I mean, and granted, that first spring, and Matt saw it, he was hitting every fastball known to mankind. First week of the season, he's swinging the bat well. He has a hitting streak, and guess what? He's still seeing fastballs. Now, all of a sudden, these pitchers catch up, and they're throwing a little this, a little that, and all of a sudden, Jordan Walker's not the guy we thought he was going to be. We didn't give him a chance to really grow in the minors because we were so tempted by his skill set. So, yeah, I think I'd put him in that category.
And just in terms of, Claibs, what you were talking about a few moments ago, are the guys that you're getting back actually better than the guys that you had? I'm going to read this quote a million times this offseason, because I think everything that we look at with the Cardinals comes back to this quote from Chaim Bloom, where in his introductory news conference, he said, "We always want to win, and we will hunt moves and decisions that allow us to do that right now too, as long as they serve our ultimate goal. But when we have to choose between short-term gratification and our bigger goal of contending consistently, we this upcoming season. I know they want to win. I know they want to be competitive. I think they're going to make moves that can help the team be good this upcoming season. But there's going to be some stuff that happens that's going to be with an eye on beyond this upcoming season."
I think really what it says is everyone's available to make the ball club better. I don't think you have a player on this team. If I can get somebody better for him, I'm going to make the move. So it's up to him, Chaim, and his staff to assess players and how they see them in the future compared to what the previous regime looked at.
As far as competitiveness goes, I think the Central Division is interesting now, because in the past it's always been, well, just, division last year. And so, the thought process has always been just kind of, start the season, see what happens. Anything can happen with this division. And that could still be true next year. But the way I feel about whatever they do is I have enough trust in Bloom to execute this plan the way he wants to see it executed. And if it sets the timeline back a little bit, I'm okay with that. And maybe in the process, they are competitive in the division, but don't do anything insane, which I don't think they're going to. And based on his quotes, they're not going to do anything crazy during this offseason. So maybe what I'm trying to say here is we should probably temper our expectations. And I think most Cardinals fans are already tempered, but maybe they compete next year. And if they start the first 2 months of the season, then you adjust accordingly. But they have to think down the road. They have to think 2-3 years from now.
Yeah, you don't want to be in a situation where you win early and then all of a sudden you look around and you don't have a farm system because you mortgaged the farm. Guys grew old all of a sudden. Some guys had a career year. So I agree with you. I think that patience is something we have to have. I think they're going to be competitive. And I think about it this way. We didn't think much of this team this year, and it took them to the season before they were eliminated.
Yeah.
Promise and hope there. And when, as I mentioned, with just 41 players that you use, can you imagine if there was a bigger pool to choose from where they may have been? Because they didn't add anyone, what the left-handed reliever that they just released. But basically, this is a team we've seen from day one of spring training. So it's one of those deals. I like their direction, their approach. But that doesn't mean we're going to be competing with Pittsburgh or Minnesota or any of those teams who say at the beginning of the year, hey, we just like to get to 500.
If I could just talk about the division for a second, because
Sure.
I'm frustrated for fan bases. You've got the Chicago Cubs, who basically they sold the farm for Kyle Tucker, and now they've basically said they're out on Tucker, that they're not going to do anything. So you gave up a ton of resources to be able to have that guy for a year. You don't pick up the option on Shota Imanaga. Now you do offer him the qualifying offer. Sidebar on that, I think there should be a rule in Major League Baseball that if you decline a player's option, you're not allowed to offer them a qualifying offer. Because all you're doing is taking money away from them, and then you're tanking their value when you put the qualifying offer because there's the draft pick associated. But the Cubs just traded away Andrew Kittredge for nothing. The Brewers pulled their little deal with William Contreras where they don't pick up his option, and now he's going to have to go to arbitration. So they're doing that over $800,000 probably. Ricky Weeks, they called him the associate manager since he's a bench coach. He just walked out the door. He's going to join the front office. They've already said they're not going to replace the bench coach. What's going on? Like these teams in the division, especially right now where the Cardinals are a little bit down, the Cardinals, the team that have dominated this division, nobody wants to do the things that you need to do to win ball games. And
It's wild.
I'm frustrated. I just be better. Everybody across the board, be better.
And we didn't even mention Pittsburgh and what they're going to do with Paul Skeens at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Throw in the fact that I thought Cincinnati really showed me a lot, but I think down the stretch they realized they were a little short. So they will be one of those X factor teams on whether they're going to invest more money or do they think their farm system is going to supply the talent they're going to need in order to be better than they were last year.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. And at least the Cardinals, and while sometimes I think people get frustrated that they don't go a little more aggressive when they have an opportunity, they are still a pretty aggressive team overall. And compared to where they are in terms of market size, I think generally speaking, we should be happy with the way they have done business. But if you're a Pirates fan, man, or if you're a Cubs fan right now, who has all the resources in the world, and they did almost nothing last offseason, you've got to be really irritated with the way they've operated. So, Matt, I'm with you. I think the sport is better when every team tries as hard as they could possibly try to win, but you've got way too many teams that just simply don't.
Yeah, and we'll be having the same conversation about the Cardinals 2-3 years down the line if they're not doing what they're supposed to be. It's
That's
okay
right.
to go into
That's
periods where you're rebuilding, you're resetting some infrastructure. Like that's okay. That's not where the Cubs are at right now. The Cubs should be past that. So I think the three of us will have the exact same conversations about the Cardinals if they don't follow through a couple years down the line and do the things that they need to do to show that they want to win.
That's right. Claibs, Pauley, Rongey with you on the Gashouse Gang until 1 o'clock. Alec Burleson will join the show just after 12:30. He just won the Silver Slugger Award. Cardinals offseason is here, and FanDuel is almost here. FanDuel is America's #1 sports book, and it is coming soon to Missouri. So get ready. December 1st, new customers in Missouri can get up to $300 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet, from touchdowns to homers to three-pointers. With FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. And there's live betting, too, which means once the game starts, you could still place your bets. It is all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. You can get it at FanDuel.com/Missouri. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri. And that way you're going to be all set to go when December 1st rolls around. Play your game with FanDuel, the #1 rated sportsbook app. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first bet deposit required. Offer starts 12/1/2025. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-555-2085. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-555-2085 or biglou.com.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fire Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, registered investment advisors. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Now, back to the Gashouse Gang, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
We're going to talk to Alec Burleson, Silver Slugger winner. He will join the show just after 12:30, so a little bit less than 10 minutes from now. It is the Gashouse Gang, brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, Saliga Heating and Cooling.com. Mike Claiborne, Matt Pauley, Chris Rongey. So, the Blues have been in a bad way this season. They had the 7-game losing streak. They won a game, then they lost 6-1. There was the whole Jordan Binnington thing with Alex Ovechkin taking that 900th goal puck. And then they won again last night. Let me first ask Claibs, because we haven't had a chance to talk to him about the Binnington thing. And that became pretty big news around the sports world. A lot of people were talking about that. What were your thoughts on Binnington trying to steal that 900th goal puck?
I mean, what was he going to do with it? I mean, that's like guys breaking into the Louvre trying to go to the pawn shop and sell a painting or something. I mean, there's nothing he could do with it.
He says he was going to give it back.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what else he could do with it. But it was funny.
Yeah.
I mean, because he kind of had that who me look, like, I don't know what you're talking about. What puck? But you know, it was something that, considering it was such a terrible game, that probably was the highlight of the game.
Yeah. Oh, there's no question about it. From our perspective, it was. So Matt Pauley, now on to the hockey itself. Jordan Kyrou was a healthy scratch, and it was the first time that it happened in 4 years. And they ended up winning last night against the Buffalo Sabres. So I know there's this philosophy that you send a message, and I think it was even, I forgot who pointed this out, but it may have been Jeremy Rutherford in The Athletic, that it was months ago that Jim Montgomery said something about a motivational factor of ass meeting bench. And I mean, do you think that worked? Will it work to maybe light a fire with one of the Blues' best players?
I don't know. Was he embarrassed? If
Don't
I'm
we
Jordan
do this
Kyrou,
every year with him?
There's always something going on.
I mean,
I don't know how he
coaches
felt
that
about it.
Played for. Think about we go back to Mike Yo, Craig Berube, the other guy who was there for about 4 shifts, and then they let him go when Montgomery became available. I mean, this is a common pattern. And because it's a no trade contract and it's a pretty healthy number, it's not like you can just ship him out and not sure you're going to get a 50 goal scorer in return. Yeah, listen, the guy has a lot of talent. I don't know if sitting him out one game is going to change a pattern that we've seen since the day he got here.
Yeah, and this is the same guy who took some shots at Berube when Berube was let go. It's just, I thought last year when Montgomery got here and both he and Robert Thomas kind of found themselves that maybe Montgomery was the thing that they needed, and now it's sort of back to where it was before. And I would like to know, was Jordan Kyrou embarrassed last night? Knowing that he was sitting up there in the press box, that he is supposed to be one of the leaders of this team. He's the guy who's been the leading goal scorer a couple years in a row. He makes tons of money. He's supposed to be one of the faces of the organization. Was last night an embarrassing moment for him? If he was embarrassed by it, well, then maybe that prompts change. If it was, ho-hum, I'm getting paid whether I'm playing or not, well, then that's not going to prompt change.
Let me ask you this, Matt. How many $8 million a year hockey players with healthy scratches last night? Not many.
He had to be the only one.
Yeah, and if that doesn't get to him about what his, I won't even use the word, I won't even say legacy, because I don't think he's established that yet. I think he's a really good hockey player. He's a great goal scorer, but it's kind of he's more of an enigma than anything else, because we just don't know. We see the skill set, but man, we don't see the effort when you need it. And as you mentioned, when you're paying the guy that kind of money, you expect him to be a leader in some sort of way. And we're just not seeing the consistency right now.
Well, for somebody who cried after fans booed him, I would think that something like that would embarrass and motivate you. And I guess we'll have to wait and see. They will take on Seattle. That will be tomorrow. They're hosting the Seattle Kraken tomorrow. I got Mike Claiborne with me. Matt Pauley is going to say goodbye. We will talk to you next week, sir. You've got Rush Hour Sports at 5. Yes. Oh, do we have Matt still? Yeah, he is with us. Rush Hour Sports at 5 o'clock. Matt Pauley, thank you very much for being with us. Mike Claiborne and Chris Rongey. When we come back, we're going to talk to Alec Burleson, the Silver Slugger winner. That is next on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Hey guys, Dave Glover here from the Dave Glover Show. So, what is my show? My show is 4 different people living 4 different lives, all coming together every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. to talk about life, actual life, not so much headlines or did you see what Trump did today or XYZ. Never predictable, because I never know what I'm going to talk about from one segment to the next. So it truly is unique and unpredictable. Join us.
104.1 FM KMOX.
When it comes to affordable term life insurance, everyone's whistling the Big Lou tune. If you're over 50, maybe a bit porky, or have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost about $200 a month. Even if you're not in perfect health, call Big Lou, because he specializes in finding big chunks of affordable term life insurance for just about everyone. Don't let diabetes or other health glitches keep you from owning $500,000 to $1 million or more of term life insurance. For affordable term life insurance, call Big Lou. Don't hesitate. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or visit biglou.com.
Call Big Lou, don't hesitate, 800-700-6898. Call Big Lou, don't hesitate, 800-700-6898. Visit biglou.com.
Now that we're getting older, we've been putting more thought into maintaining our health.
We knew the water we drink every day could be filled with contaminants, so
We called Leaf Home Water Solutions.
they came to our home and did a free water test and gave us the analysis right away.
We were shocked at what we saw.
They found heavy metals like iron and copper.
Our own tap water was putting our health at risk, but Leaf Home Water Solutions made it easy to get safer water from every tap and hose, a whole home solution.
They have more than 250 product combinations and designed a system that fits our needs and budget. The installation took less than a day.
With Leaf Home Water Solutions, our water is safer and healthier. When we drink, when we cook, when we shower, even when we garden.
We feel better about our health.
Thanks to Leaf Home Water Solutions.
Schedule your free home water test today at leafhome.com/free and save 15% on all home water treatment systems. That's leafhome.com/free for your free home water test and 15% off. leafhome.com/free.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-908-8646 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-908-8646. That's 800-908-8646. What do you have to lose? Call 800-908-8646. Again, 800-908-8646.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. We are discussing breast cancer with Dr. Debbie Bennett.
It makes a big difference who's actually interpreting the mammogram images that you get. We make sure that we have an expert team of breast radiologists that specialize in reading mammograms to be sure that we can get you the most accurate read possible.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
The Woodlands of Arnold campus offers skilled rehab, a beautiful assisted living community, and a secure memory care to keep your loved ones safe. Check us out at rspseniorliving.com. That's rspseniorliving.com.
Now back to the Gas House Gang, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Well, the Cardinals had two players nominated for the Silver Slugger Award for Utility Player, and one of them who won is our next guest. It is the Gas House Gang, Mike Claiborne, Chris Rongey, and we are joined by Alec Burleson on the show this afternoon. Congratulations, Alec. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you, and thank you for having me.
So when you and your teammate Brendan Donovan are both up for the same award, is there a bet that's happening? Is there some sort of friendly ribbing? What's going on?
I don't think we talked too much about it. I think we've talked a lot this off season, just catching up with. Obviously, I've got a newborn, and we're close. I love his little girl, and so we're FaceTiming and all that stuff. I don't think it was really talked about too much, but super grateful, for us to be teammates and to be honored and, with those finalist awards.
You had a pretty good month here, man. I mean, have a new child and also a Silver Slugger Award. I don't know what else waiting for you.
I guess spring training, I guess is the answer. It's been great. Obviously, have Braxton. He's I think he'd be 5 weeks tomorrow. Timed it out perfect. I got home and then not 24. I wasn't home 24 hours, and I was in the hospital waiting for him to get here. So super cool experience and pretty cool to be a dad.
That timing could not have been more perfect. That's incredible.
Yeah. It was incredible. Like you said, we actually that would have been. He was born on Saturday, so season ended on Sunday. Stayed back a couple of days to pack up the apartment and whatnot. Got back late Wednesday night, and my wife, she had a doctor's appointment Thursday, and they said, we will see you at the hospital this afternoon. And he was born early Saturday morning, but yeah, pretty great timing, and get to spend a lot of time with him before stuff starts ramping up.
So when does that stuff start ramping up for you? Because players do a lot of, it's not like spring training is not like it used to be where you don't get ready for the season until February. I mean, you're doing work all off season. When does that start, and what does it look like for you?
So for me, I've already started. I took maybe not even 2 weeks off of doing nothing, and then now I'm back in the weight room, just getting my body in better shape. Try to maintain as much as I could throughout the season, but you lose some things just throughout the long season that we have. So just in the weight room right now, not doing any baseball related stuff. That'll get ramped up closer. I'm thinking about hitting a little bit before Christmas, so that'll get ramped up then, and then obviously start doing a lot more baseball stuff come January and beginning of February. So yeah, right now it's pretty easy going. Just work out every day, and then get home and just hang out and enjoy the downtime.
Hey, Alec, what did you take away from this season? Because you did a lot of things. We saw you on the mound, you were at first base, you were in the outfield, and it seemed like every position you took on, you got better at it. And you were able to maintain a good swing as well. What did you come away with, and what did you felt was the best improvement for you in your career?
I think I improved in a lot of aspects this year. Number one, defensively, that's been a work in progress for 3 years now, and it's going to continue to be something that I have to focus on, just because who I am, and I don't have the speed like some of the guys on the team do. So to go out there and track fly balls and run balls down, it's something I have to work on, and then obviously at first base, I got a little bit more run at it this past year, so going to continue to work on that. So defensively, I feel like I made strides, and then at the plate made some strides as well. Just trying to continue to hone in on my zone and continue to swing at the pitches that I want to swing at, because I'm obviously going to chase, and I know I can hit pitches out of the zone, but it doesn't put me in the best position to have success. So, but I think the biggest improvement for me was more on the mental side of taking each at bat as its own separate entity instead of taking a game as its own entity. So, basically, my first at bat of a game doesn't define my fifth at bat of that same game. So I was able to kind of differentiate those and have individual plans for each game, and I think it kind of allowed me to.
So is it? I'm sorry, Alec, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it just allowed me to put games together instead of being upset about my first two at bats and then not being able to do anything my last at bats.
Is it tough to get to that point, to not think about it, not think about an at bat that did not go well the last time you were out there?
Yeah, I think there's two ways to look at it. You can either kind of be upset at the result, the outcome of the at bat, whether that was didn't go your way or did go your way. You can look at it and either be upset about it or be satisfied with it, or you can learn from it and then take that into the next at bat, specifically off starters. Obviously they're in there for 2 or 3 at bats. You can learn a lot from just one at bat off of them. So yeah, it's something that I didn't do a good job of last year. I think that's kind of where you saw, or I guess last year, 2 years ago, 2024. I didn't do a good job of that, and that's kind of why I feel like you saw the tail off at the end of the year. So got better at that, and that was a kudos to a lot of the hitting staff that helped me with that. So super grateful for them.
One of the things I noticed about you, at one point you would get yourself out, as you mentioned, you would chase a little bit, but it seemed like you reduced the strike zone and you were able to go the other way a little bit more. You were able to put the ball in the middle of the field. And it seemed like once you got into that groove, man, you were a tough out.
Yeah, for me, it's just about getting the barrel to the ball. I think, I do a good job of that, but it's doing it to where I can do damage and not just take my singles. I can steal a base here and there, but I'm not going to have 30, 40 stolen bases a year. So definitely doubles and extra base hits are what I'm looking for, and it's really tough to do that with pitches out of the zone. So yeah, it's something that I was blessed with, but it's still I want to get close to mastering it, and I think it's only going to make me better.
Obviously, it takes a lot of work to be a utility player, to try and really get a handle on multiple positions and not really know day to day where you're going to be able to play. How are you able to make sure that you are as prepared for whatever position on the field they put you in on a given night, and make sure that you're doing the offensive work too? Because there's a lot that goes into both.
Yeah, definitely. First and foremost, I just want to be in the lineup every day. So whether that's at first, left, right, DH, whatever it is, I just want to be in the lineup. But that going from being able to do left, right, and first base, it's kind of you got to get your work in every day. Obviously, there's days where you can kind of, I don't want to say take the day off, but you can kind of take it, do some light work and whatnot. But yeah, it's taking ground balls with the infielders and then going out and shagging during BP in the outfield. So you're kind of doing both and just staying on top of that stuff. And Stubby and JJ were big helps with that. Stubby was always pulling me for ground balls, and then JJ was always pushing me to get out in the outfield and get some reads. Because there were stretches where I was playing a lot of outfield, and then there were stretches where I was playing a lot of first, and then there were some stretches where I was bouncing back and forth. So if you try and predict where you're going to play the next day, and then you're not there, you're not going to be prepared. So it's just getting in your work every day, and then obviously, like you said, the offensive part. That's definitely take pride in that, and definitely make sure I get all that in too.
So do you have a place for the Silver Slugger Award in your house yet?
Not yet. We haven't really finished what we wanted to do here. So once I do that, I've got a couple things that I want to get up and hung, and it'll be front and center for sure.
Alec, I know you've been busy with your newborn and what you said 5 weeks that's been going on. So I imagine almost all of your attention has gone to that. Are you somebody who pays attention to postseason otherwise? Or if you're not playing in it, is it the kind of thing that you do pay attention to?
I've watched games here and there. I think I watched, a little bit more of the World Series than I have in the past. Just, I don't want to say it was solely but just watching two Pirates for the Toronto Blue Jays, Jeff Hoffman and Treya Savage, pitch in those games, and was just keeping up with those two guys. But yeah, it's kind of one of those things. At least for this year, it's pretty easy to turn the switch off from baseball because, like I said, I wasn't home 24 hours and I had a kid, so it was pretty easy to switch from baseball to the off season for me. But yeah, I kept up with a little bit. It wasn't I wasn't locked in every game though.
Because we hear a lot of people say that the Dodgers winning again is bad for baseball. You got a repeat champion, and they're able to spend the kind of money they're able to spend. Do you agree with that philosophy?
I don't know. I'd have to sit down and think about it. I think, they've put themselves in a good position to, have success, like you said, with the spending and the players that they're able to acquire. And, but at the end of the day, it's still baseball, right? Like I watched the recaps of the World Series, and you look at those two teams and how different they are, but how, evenly matched they were in the World Series. And, money can get you some really good players, but it's not going to account for, what goes on in the clubhouse and the kind of guys that you get and the leaders that you get. And, so it was a lot of fun to watch, kind of, I guess you could say David versus Goliath is what people were saying. And, but it didn't really play out that way. But yeah, I don't know if it's good or bad for baseball. I guess we'll have to, wait and see what happens after this season. But yeah, it's something I'd have to think about.
And one thing we do know, Alec, is that coming up in 2026, you'll have the same coaching staff for the most part. Same guys are going to be around. Ollie Marmol will be in the dugout again, and everybody's coming back. How do you feel knowing there's a lot of continuity there?
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, the continuity and just being comfortable around the coaching staff is super important. And all those guys are, great. Their ultimate goal is to win, right? And that's what us as an organization, that's what we want to do, and that's what they preach. And if we get the right guys in the clubhouse and we get everybody pulling in the same direction, I think we can do some things, just because that staff is, they know the game, they know the guys, they know, what needs to be done, and they know what success looks like. So, yeah, it's I've grown to have personal relationships with some of the coaching staff, and it's they're a lot of fun to be around.
Well, Alec Burleson, congratulations on the Silver Slugger and on the newborn. It's been a great offseason for you so far. We're looking forward to 2026. And we have a listener who is writing in and who really wants you to do what you can to bring back the hamburger phone for 2026. I don't know. They really love that thing. So I guess they want it back if you could do something about it.
Yeah, I don't know if that did us any good as a team. Back when we had it, but it was a pretty cool prop that we had. So I may take a different route to it, but we'll see what we can do.
Alec Burleson, congrats, man. Thanks for being on with us today.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Alex.
That is utility player, Cardinal Alec Burleson, and Silver Slugger winner with us on the Gashouse Gang on 104.1 FM KMOX. Got Mike Claiborne and Chris Rongey. A few more minutes to go here on the Voice of St. Louis.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Help KMOX make the holiday season brighter for St. Louis area children by supporting TSO Tuesdays, benefiting Sightman kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. On Tuesdays, Sugar Fire will donate a portion of their TSO Tuesday special to Sightman kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. And don't miss Trans-Siberian Orchestra, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve at Enterprise Center, December 23rd at 3 p.m. Get your tickets today for this holiday tradition. All you need to know at KMOX.com.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
70 degrees and sunny. The high will be 71. We're getting a low tonight of 44.
I'm Dr. Colleen Bosler with the Audiology Center, and I'm talking with my associate, Dr. Adam Voss. What happens to a person's brain when they ignore their hearing loss?
There is such a strong connection between the ear and the brain. Ignoring your hearing loss can cause the brain to become lazy and the speech areas in the brain to shrink. This is partially why you can hear the words, but you cannot understand them. If a hearing loss goes untreated for too long, it may cause an irreversible change in the brain. It is incredibly important to have your hearing screened at 60 or older, or sooner if you're noticing difficulty. And the sooner someone treats their hearing loss, the better and quicker their brain will adapt to hearing sound again. Studies show that those who get hearing aids, even with a mild hearing loss, are much more successful hearing aid users as compared to those that wait longer.
So call us today to get your comprehensive hearing evaluation with one of our doctors. 636-441-7470. Or visit us online, theaudiologycenterstl.com.
Debt payments keeping you up at night. Credit cards, medical bills, personal loans, it can all add up and feel impossible to keep up. If you owe $10,000 or more in unsecured debt, JG Wentworth may be able to help you and put you on the path to freedom in as little as 24 to 48 months. Imagine one affordable monthly payment instead of juggling multiple bills and creditors. We've helped thousands of people cut their debt by up to 50% before fees, and we don't get paid unless we reduce your debt. The more you owe, the more you could save. Call 877-CASH now. The call is free, the consultation is free, and there's no obligation to sign up. Call today for your free consultation. 877-CASH now. That's 877-CASH now. Don't wait. Every day you delay could cost you more. Call 877-CASH now today. Results vary, not all debts qualify. Debt resolution impacts credit and may increase what you owe. Average savings before fees 43%, 25% after fees. The choice to stop paying creditors is yours. JG Wentworth does not pay debts or provide legal, tax, or credit repair services.
Now back to the Gas House Gang, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Well, we've got the college football playoff rankings. The first one of the season is out, came out this week. And as we expected, Missouri is listed. I mean, they are in the top 25, but in the very first ranking, they come in at 22. They've got a big game coming up tomorrow afternoon. It is a 2:30 start against the number 3 team in the country, Texas A&M. By the way, the top 5 is Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, Alabama, and Georgia. Mike Claiborne and Chris Rongey. A few more moments to go on the Gas House Gang before Dave Glover takes over. And Claibs, Mizzou at 22. Does this sound about right? Is that about what you expected it to be?
Yeah. When you think about the schedule, they had a lot of home games against meaningless teams. They had a good win on the road against Auburn. There's no doubt about that. But I really feel like the schedule is kind of caught up to them. And the loss to Vanderbilt shouldn't be one that you should hold your head down, because Vanderbilt's been a pretty good team most of the season. There's still time for them to get in this thing, but it starts obviously Saturday. They have to beat Texas A&M. If they don't beat Texas A&M or they get blown out at home after a bye week, now you're going to have a problem.
Yeah, they will. And that's a tough team, man. A&M coming in at number 3. I mean, you've got you can win. They could potentially win that game, obviously, but at minimum, you want to have a decent showing against them. But I don't think that's enough. I mean, you've already got 2 losses. I don't think they survive 3 losses in the playoff. Is just not going to happen for them. They'll get into a bowl. I mean, it could be like a Music City Bowl situation for Mizzou this year, but you would love to see them get that win at home tomorrow.
I agree. And, when you look at this team, Texas A&M, the gentleman we talked to last week talked about how complete they were of a football team. Yeah. Missouri is not in the business of having a spirit win. Well, we played them tough for 3 quarters. No, right. you have to win. That's right. And if you don't, as you mentioned, we'll be in a bowl game that we didn't see participating in when the season started. Yeah, I mean, most people thought this was going to be a playoff team.
Right.
The schedule was set up for it. You had a lot of people coming back. But
all those home games you mentioned.
Games. But I thought the schedule, the home games, or who you were playing, I really think that hurt them. And when you look at a team like Alabama, who plays anybody anywhere, and is 4 ranked teams so far this year, and Missouri has yet to beat anybody that's ranked. They played Alabama tough, but again, there's no column for spirit wins in the columns of football.
Yeah, and this will be the second ranked team they play this season. Again, Alabama won by a field goal in your building, which is not going to work. And then they've got number 3 A&M. Oklahoma is 11th, and Mizzou plays them on the 22nd. So, I mean, you do get a win at home this weekend. You do get that win on the road in Oklahoma, and we're having a different conversation, but that's a lot to ask for. Mike Claiborne.
It's a lot to ask for, but you know what? I think this is a team that needs that challenge.
You're right.
I'm looking forward to them having a good game.
You're right. We're always talking about Mizzou, and I don't know who came up with this, but it's pretty brilliant. It's when the conversation happens about Mizzou, it's always, yeah, but there's always a but when it comes to them. They just don't have that big signature win, and they don't have it this season. Mike Claiborne.
Yeah, but.
That's right. That's right. Let's do it again next week, man.
Looking forward to it. Have a great weekend.
You too. Mike Claiborne with us here on the Gashouse Gang. Every Friday, he is here with us. We appreciate you listening. If you missed anything, it's on the Odyssey app. You can go back and get it, or the iHeart app, or wherever you get your podcasts. But the Gashouse Gang does return on Monday, every weekday from 12 until 1. So we'll be back with you then, Tom Ackerman and me. Have a great weekend. Good luck to Mizzou tomorrow. And we'll talk to you next week. Chris Rongey, Mike Claiborne, Gashouse Gang on KMOX.
Hey guys, it's Kevin Wheeler. Struggling with low energy, performance issues, or weight gain? Game Day Men's Health has you covered with testosterone.